Thank you very much. Those were exceedingly kind remarks. My wife is sitting out there in the audience thinking to herself, who the hell is that guy? Thank you. I am deeply appreciative. This honor is the capstone of my career. I'm very indebted. Put down your phone, Ted. I'm going to talk about you now. I'm very indebted to my friend, my inspiration, my sponsor, Ted Clark, the preeminent public sector labor lawyer in Illinois and perhaps in the country. Thank you, Ted.
You're welcome.
As I'm sure you all appreciate, life is filled with fortuitous moments that turn out to be so unpredictable. I am here today because of what started in the winter of 1969, my first year at the University of Chicago Law School. There was a posting for an internship in the Illinois General Assembly for the magnificent sum of $1,000. I was then, as I am now, intensely interested in Chicago and Illinois politics. So it was one of those WTF moments. I applied, and I'm not going to spell that out for all of you, but I assume you know what it means. I applied, and surprisingly, I won the internship. So in March of 1969, a very young, very naive, 22-year-old with a much better head of hair than I have now went off to Springfield. And I went over and I introduced myself to the Speaker of the Illinois House, a very gruff person, a person right out of a Robert Penn novel. And I said, I'm Jim from the University of Chicago Law School. I won an internship to clerk in the General Assembly. I might as well have said I was from Mars. After a moment's thought, he assigned me to the one group in the Democratic caucus that he detested the most and said, you will work with these rebels. A guy you may have heard of named Harold Washington, State Treasurer Adlai Stevenson, Lieutenant Governor Paul Simon, and a group of hardcore liberals back then, including Anthony Scariano, Bob Mann, and others. Some of those of you in the audience who have been in Illinois will recognize some of those names. A year later, I received the clerkship to clerk for the Bill of Rights Committee of the Illinois Constitutional Convention. The legal advisor to the Bill of Rights Committee was Dallin Oaks, then a law professor at the University of Chicago Law School, and now the number 2 person in the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, the Mormons. In short, the number 2 guy. Dallin went on to be the president of BYU, a member of the Utah Supreme Court, and twice runner-up for a seat on the United States Supreme Court. In short, he was a remarkable human being that I was privileged to be a mentee to. The delegates to the Constitutional Convention, and by the way, it's sort of neat to be in a constitutional convention that occurs once every few hundred years, included many who would go on to prominent careers in government and politics and be part of my life for years to come. Included Don Clark Netsch, who ran for governor, a very young guy named Michael J. Madigan, and a fellow named Richard M. Daley. My course was set. I was captured by government and I was captured by politics. For the next 51 years, I've embarked as a career as a labor lawyer. Over that time, I've negotiated 500. I had to count them at one time because I needed to testify in court. Over 500 labor agreements, private and public sector, for school districts, municipalities, and virtually every other level of government. I have come to greatly appreciate our public servants' due and the sacrifices they make. Indeed, as Kelly pointed out, many of my closest friends have been union attorneys and union leaders, including Amanda's former partner, Mark Gittler. For the last 30 years, I have been the outside labor counsel to Chicago's last three mayors, Daley, Emanuel, and Lightfoot. And if you don't think that's been an adventure, you don't know what adventure is. On behalf of those mayors, I have negotiated every police, fire, and civilian labor contract, and perhaps most notably, 8 contracts between the Chicago Board of Education and the Chicago Teachers Union. And of those 8, by the way, I've only had 3 of them go out on strike, so I'm still batting better than 50%. I have been privileged to have an exciting and an interesting career. Being a public sector labor lawyer puts you at the intersection of law, labor, government, and politics. There are few, if any, roles that provide the opportunity to influence public policy and to work intimately with our government, political leaders, union leaders, and scores of truly wonderful people. The values that I have long treasured, civility, reasoned conflict, relationships, are under attack, but those of us who believe in what we do hope they will persevere. The challenges today are enormous and perhaps intractable, but for me, I do and savor a career where I thought I have made a difference. Thank you for this wonderful and meaningful recognition, which happens, by the way, to fall on my 76th birthday. So,
Wow.